things, you say, God, things have changed. Well, do you know, I hardly recognise this town, or spare a thought for folk in Dubai, because in around 50 years, it's been transformed from a small fishing village to the gleaming city in the world that it is now, with Dubai International, the world's busiest international airport, handling more than 92 million passengers, and that was in 2024. We haven't got the figure for 2025 yet. So overnight visitors, roughly the same as the whole of London, 19.6 million international overnight visitors in 2025. It's just 20 million, so it's only a little bit more really for the whole of London. And here are the numbers. The tourism sector for the whole region contributes about 15% GDP. For the UK, well, that comes in at about 5% of GDP. So you can see the impact. But what has the fact that it is in the middle of this conflict and some shells have landed on Dubai, what has it done for the region? Well, let's turn to Hala Matar Choufany, who's president for the Middle East, Africa and South Asia at global hospitality consulting firm HVS, and joins us from Dubai. Thank you very much for coming on. Prior to events of the last 2 and a bit weeks, where was Dubai standing as a go-to place in the international travel sector? Good morning.
Good morning, Nick. And actually spot on with the data points that you've pointed to. I can probably add that 150,000 hotel rooms in Dubai, which is equivalent to London, which is fascinating. But to answer your question specifically, what we've seen in the first 2 months in 2005 is further increase on last year, which is the full 2025. So that was around 3% increase through January and February. Occupancy in the city was sitting at around 80%, so quite solid.
And then we all know what happened a couple of Saturdays ago. When will the impacts be able to be measured?
We've started modeling that. In fairness, clearly hotel bookings have been impacted, at least in the short run over the next month. We're seeing some 50% cancellations in advance bookings. It really depends how long this conflict will continue. And it will result in short-term disruption to the travel and hospitality market. As of this morning, we're looking at a weak March, understandably. A relatively good business still on the books for April. So it's really going to be a function of how long this conflict.
What's the best case? What's the worst case scenarios, Hala?
So we're looking at historic data. I've been in this market for 20 years, so I arrived here in 2007, so I can really look at trends. And we have, on a number of occasions, looked at what potential scenarios could play out. If this conflict comes to an end rather sooner, i.e. till the end of the month, the immediate impact is March and April, which are typically very busy months for the city, with leisure demand clearly, but also corporate-related demand. If the situation is contained, our estimates is that probably by year end, we look at around 15% reduction across accommodated room night, drop in total revenues that will impact clearly international arrivals. As of yesterday, 60% of air capacity has been resumed at the airport. That doesn't necessarily translate into accommodated room nights, but I'm looking at year end, finishing 2025 at around 80%. It would be reasonable to assume that an adjustment to the accommodated room night will happen, a compression of around 15 to 20%, which means city occupancy could probably sit somewhere just under 70% at the end of the year.
How likely is it that we'll see some quite aggressive marketing and promotions by the Dubai Tourist Board, or whatever the organisation might be called, Hala?
They will continue with their marketing, and every effort is being made at least to contain the current situation, but to restore confidence in the future of Dubai. So that is quite likely. Looking at, again, couple of factors, the government initiatives, the booking trends, aviation, and clearly geographical events. I'm quite confident. I'd allow myself to say I'm quite confident that they will be successful in restoring pretty much immediate confidence in Dubai.
Thank you for your time. You look after yourself over there as well. Hala Matar Choufany is president for the Middle East, Africa and South Asia at the global hospitality consulting firm HVS. That's Hotel Victor Sierra, HVS, based in Dubai. Those figures again, then, that the actual tourism sector in the region is worth £59 billion. 59 billion.